Coming to you live from the Silicon Square in East Legon, Accra. Welcome to MX News. My name is Marie-France Fojo. Coming up, a high-powered delegation from the Interior and National Security Ministries meet in the Volta region over recent activities of secessionists. Also, scores of displaced residents in the West Mamprusi cry for help following Thursday's floods. Also in the news, government rubbishes minorities' allegations of corruption in COVID testing at the Health Kotoka International Airport. Now to our first story. Members of the Volta caucus in Parliament are currently locked up in the meeting with a high-powered delegation from the National Security and Interior Ministries. The agenda for the meeting, which is ongoing in the Volta region, is to find sustainable ways in dealing with the activities of secessionist groups, Homeland Security Group, and the Western Togoland Restoration Front. The group in the last week have made mayhem in several groups in the Volta region. We'll be bringing you shortly on the updates of this meeting. Also, in a related development, chiefs of 3 traditional areas in the Hohoi municipality have dissociated themselves from activities of the secessionist groups.
Traditional area wishes to reaffirm its support for the unity and sanctity of the sovereign state of Ghana. Accordingly, as a traditional area wishes to send a strong word of caution to elements of this group that their activities will not be tolerated anywhere in the traditional area.
Meanwhile, lawyer for the 34 persons who were arrested as being part of the Western Togoland Restoration Front states that his clients have nothing to do with the attacks. He's in the person of Theophilus Donko, and he joins me via Zoom. Hello, Counsel. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Counsel. Welcome to MX News.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to MX News. Can you tell me what's the current situation?
Hello, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you tell me what the situation is with your clients, the 34 persons? Can you tell me? The current
situation is that the police are currently screening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can proceed, please.
Hello. The police are currently screening each of the 31 accused persons who were put before court. I've had the opportunity to meet my clients. They are in good condition. They are in good health. We are just waiting for them to produce them before court any moment from now or on the return date of 13th of October 2020. So that is where we are with the case.
Okay. Have the families finally been able to meet their relatives?
This afternoon, some of the families are currently waiting for me at the CID headquarters, where we are going to meet. They are going to meet their relations who are in BNI custody. You know, to be able to meet somebody in BNI custody, the police will have to arrange with you. Then they will communicate with the BNI before you will be able to meet the person who is in custody with BNI custody. So we have made that arrangement. Currently, some of the family members are waiting for me at the CID headquarters, where we will meet the police and then we'll proceed to the BNI cells, where they can meet with their relations and know that indeed they are in good health and they are in good condition.
So come October 13, what case are you going to put up in court to ensure the freedom of your clients?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm asking on come October 13 when you go back to court, what case are you going to put up to ensure that your clients are granted bail or receive their freedom?
There are 2 applications we are going
We do apologize for that. We have a poor connection to it. Moving on, government has mounted experiment defense in the COVID-19 testing kit at the Kotoka International Airport signed with the Frontiers Healthcare Limited. This follows claims by the minority that the contract is a ripoff. At a press briefing in Parliament on Thursday, ranking member on the Health Committee, Kwabena Mita Akando, demanded the immediate determination of the contract.
Friends of the media help us find out from the government if they have in any way found the services of Noguchi to be certainly below standard, which cannot match the kind of test being conducted at the Kotoka International Airport. If not, why then do we contract a private institution, Frontier Healthcare Services Limited, who is said by Imani Ghana in their press conference on 21st September 2020 to have defied basic biomedical ethics and national laws to make profit at the expense of a government institution, the Noguchi Memorial Institute, who has been at the forefront since the outbreak of this pandemic. How much out of the 150 USD charged each traveler goes to the states? The arrangement with Frontier Healthcare Services Limited is a ripoff. Moreover, nobody knows how the contract was awarded to this company, which was formed a few days to the lifting of travel restrictions and which has no certified laboratory in Ghana for the purpose of testing arriving passengers.
That was a ranking member on health, Kwabena Mita Akando. Now, join me via Zoom is Information Minister Kojo Opon Nkrumah. Hello, Honorable. Welcome to MX24 News. So, the minority has been raising concerns with government's deal with Frontier Healthcare Services, which is in charge of the testing at the KI, and they are asking that you suspend this contract. What's your response to that?
I'm not aware of any government intention to suspend this contract. This contract with Frontier, between, I think, the Ghana Airport Company Limited and Frontier, is to enable the Ghana Airport Company Limited perform its function of testing all persons who arrive within the Ghanaian jurisdiction. For us as a government, we're very comfortable with the service that is being offered. It meets all the regulatory requirements that we are minded to observe at this point in time.
Okay. Speaking of regulatory requirements, they are asking how we arrived at giving this contract to Frontier's Healthcare Services, because they were not aware of any processes that took place ahead of the awarding of the contract. And
we look forward to them continuing with their work.
Okay. They also make the case that we have been working with the Noguchi Memorial Research Institute throughout this COVID period, and suddenly these guys come up. Why didn't you contract Noguchi to undertake these testing?
Noguchi is not the only lab that has been testing. If you would recall, throughout our COVID-19 engagements, we have mentioned that we have a number of labs across the country that belong to different entities, all offering the same service when we were running the PCR tests. This antigen test has been given to Frontline as an additional health service provider to run for the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and there's nothing untoward about it.
Okay, but they make the claim that Frontier Healthcare Services is owned by Healthcare Solutions, which was incorporated on June 3, just a few months ago, and then suddenly they were given this contract. They find that suspicious. Can you first of all confirm if this is the case and your response to those claims they're making?
I don't have the dossier on when the company was registered and where it was registered. The dossier I have, the brief I have, this is a limited liability company, particular service that the Ghana Airport Company Limited requires. Are they delivering the service? Is the service meeting the standard that we are looking for? Are they protecting the Ghanaian population by the tests they are running? Have the procurement processes been followed in procuring their services? If all of these are yes, then this will just be another one of those episodes of whipping up unnecessary controversy when there's really none.
Okay, and they also asked the question that out of the $150 that's being charged for the testing at the airports, what percentage is going to government, if any? Can you tell me that?
The minority knows very well that if what they seek to do is to get substantive answers and not to stir up unnecessary public controversy, Parliament is resuming quite shortly. They have an opportunity to file that question in Parliament and get an answer from the minister responsible for aviation, for example, under whose authority the Ghana Airport Company Limited which has contracted this organization operates. And that's why I draw your attention to the fact that it is just one of those episodes of minority whipping up controversy. If they really want answers as a minority, they know where to get those answers.
Okay. So essentially, we are not going to suspend the contract as they are suggesting.
I'm not aware of any intention to suspend the contract.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm not aware of any intention to suspend the contract. It is serving its purpose. We intend to go ahead with it.
That was, thank you very much, Honorable. That was the Information Minister, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. Now, to some unfortunate news, residents of West Mamprusi Municipality are crying for help after heavy downpour left communities flooded. The residents are asking for government to intervene. These communities are Tinkaya, Dimu, Gongene, Bawama are among the latest. Now, the flooding which occurred in the early hours of Thursday, October 1, has destroyed more houses in the communities. My colleague Kamara Sule is our correspondent and has more in this report.
Flooding is attributed to the torrential rainfall that is experienced in the northern part of the country in the last 3 weeks. The heavy downpour has left many farmlands and farm produce submerged. The flood also carried away foodstuff as well as livestock and some personal belongings of these people. About 40 to 50 houses have been completely destroyed, leaving scores of residents homeless. The main road that connects Wale Wale in the West Mamprusi municipality to Nalerigu in the East Mamprusi municipality was completely covered by water, leaving commuters stranded for hours. The municipal chief executive in an interview told newsmen that the assembly has provided some school buildings in the municipal capital of Wale Wale to serve as temporary accommodation for the victims.
The primary school at Nayufong, where we have done that. There's another one at RCGSS that we are doing that. Also in Diani, we have a Ghana gas project that we are yet to commission, which is also completed. We're moving some of them to those places, those facilities. And we will let the NADMO team to monitor them and see how best we can support. We know we don't have much as a municipality, but we will do whatever we can to also support.
The victims of the recent floods are attributing it to the collapse of some dams constructed under the One Village, One Dam initiative by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo-led government. The MC Arim Yao Basintale Somolaki has assured residents that technocrats are going to be deployed to those dams to make sure the necessary corrections are done to avert future recurrence.
The dams, like I indicated earlier, we will have to look at it and get experts to go back to site and look at how best we can control the situation. It is one dam and not two. Initially, we thought it was the Diani Dam, but the assessment has indicated that Diani has not burst. It is the Gwabulga Dam that has bursted. And then that is what we are working on. And inshallah, when issues come down, we'll see how best we can go back and correct some of them.
A few weeks ago, the West Mamprusi municipality experienced the first wave of this year's flood that led to loss of lives and property running into tens of thousands of Ghana cedis. This was as a result of the spillage of the Bagre Dam at neighboring Burkina Faso that coincided with the torrential rains in the area. The entire
That report was by my colleague Kamara Sule, read by Ifwa Evans Trinity. We have more details after this break. Don't go away. You're welcome back. Now, the hopes of thousands of prospective registrants have been dashed following the announcement by the Electoral Commission that there will be no chance for another limited registration exercise. The one-day exercise, which took place yesterday, was characterized by agitations and long queues across the country. At Kwabenya in the Gais district of the Greater Accra region, some supporters of the National Democratic Congress accused the EC of trying to sabotage the process. Now, my colleague Senanu Dovlo joins me with more details. He was one of the registration centers in Kwabenya. Senanu, you're welcome.
Marie,
Can you let me know what exactly transpired at Kwabenya?
At around 7:30 p.m., there were scores of people gathered at the premises of the district office of the EC. And there were two issues, actually. And the first one is that some people were unable to register. The other issue is that the supporters of the NDC were accusing the EC of trying to rig the election, as it were, so trying to let more people register so that they'll be able to vote for the NPP in the December polls.
Okay,
and they...
Okay. Continue. When you're done.
Yeah, so they actually had in hand bottles of schnapp and eggs ready to offer libations and curses and all that, yes, when the EC refuses to hit to their plight.
Okay, when you say they were unable to register, did they have issues with logistics or the officials didn't allow them to register? What was the issue?
So it was about the timing. So there were lots of people there, and the time stipulated for by the EC had elapsed, and so there was still a lot more of people who had not gone through the process. And the EC had told them to relax and get numbered, and then for them to do the registration the following day. But the NDC supporters said, no, you gave us 1 day, it's over, and we won't allow you to do any other registration.
Okay, did you get a chance to speak to some of these people directly?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, I think we have footage of some of them, so if we can have that.
The electoral commission added a day to the registration. The day has ended, and here we can see the EC telling us that they want an additional day. So the registrants should stay back and take numbers, and that is what we are refusing. So once the day ends, it has ended. We have no right. They ask for a day, and they have a day. So we see no reason why they should come up with just another day. And that is what we are resisting. We are saying that look, they cannot take us for a ride anymore. They cannot take us for granted anymore. It has ended. It has ended.
So I see that tempers were high over there. How did this issue finally die down?
It actually took the intervention of the police to calm the situation. As at 9 p.m. when I was leaving the place, the electoral commission officers were still locked up in their offices, unable to come down and even go home. And the people were still on the ground shouting and screaming songs. You know, we are the famous NDC. It was around 9 p.m.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if we can have a footage of the people agitating. Thank you very much. That's my colleague, Senanu Dovlo. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission says there will be no window of opportunity for those who fail to register. The PRO, who is in the person of Sylvia Ano, had this to say.
That even after today, somebody will turn 18. Somebody will travel from outside and come into the country. There's always, the fact still remains that you always have people qualifying each and every day. By the end of the day, there has to be a cut-off point because we need to plan adequately for the elections in terms of logistics and so on and so forth. So, thankfully, we have today, not for the December polls, but afterwards, maybe in another election, I'm sure they'll be given the opportunity to register.
Moving on, defeated PNC National Chairman Bernard Mona says he will support the new executives of his party despite his loss. Mona failed to retain his position at the party's National Congress this week, but he tells MX24 News that all the newly executives are competent and he will give them his full support in the march towards the December 7 elections.
The leadership must set the tone for the hard work to be supported by the followers. So once they go out there and they want to work, I am sure, and since morning or since yesterday, I have given my unalloyed commitment to supporting them to succeed because the PNC is super. To the extent that they are the people that the party feel should bring about the change in our leadership, I think that they will perform well. I don't think that the duty to perform resides in just the leadership that has been elected. I said this when I was even national chairman, that it is a collective responsibility.
Ghana MOAG has hinted they will go on strike on 28th of October if government fails to address all the outstanding issues. Speaking to MX24 News, General Secretary of MOAG, Richard Kofi Jordan, says they will agree to suspend their planned October 1st strike based on promises by government at a meeting with the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations. But they will rescind their decision if government fails to meet its part of the bargain.
Force it to make sure it's done. On the 27th, we'll be meeting fair wages. Before then, we'll be meeting fair wages and all the parties that are involved or were involved in this negotiation. The most important thing is that we expect government to do what is necessary before 28. Otherwise, I am not the one to say it, but it's not going to be easy. We will surely make sure that if government does not do what they are supposed to do, this country will become ungovernable.
To some international news now, U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for COVID-19. This comes after one of their closest aides, Hope Hicks, tested positive for the infection, bringing the disease into his innermost circle. In a memo issued to reporters, the president's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, wrote that he received confirmation of the positive test on Thursday evening. President and Mrs. Trump in the tweet assured the public that they have begun the recovery process and their condition is not severe. Dr. Conley also noted that the president will continue carrying out his duties while recovering. And that's it for today's edition of MX24 News. My name is Marie-France Fojo. Many thanks for your company.